Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead. The rain is finally coming. We're on a D3 drought, burn bans and all of that, so we're so thankful for this rain. It's a result of the hurricane. We are going to have really high winds today, so I need to harvest my pumpkins. I've called it on the garden back here. I'll insert some footage. I think it was yesterday, the day before, or 3 days before, sorry, where I just gave up on my tomatoes, but we've got chickens back here, the pigs are still here, so let's get harvesting these pumpkins and see what else we can find. Came back to do chores this morning and harvest some more. You can see my tomatoes are really struggling. Some of them have fallen down. The pest pressure is absolutely ridiculous. There's so much damage that every time I pick a tomato, it's like I'm not even getting to save it. I'm having to get rid of it because it's so damaged. There's so many pests, so I'm just gonna call it that it's done. When I come back here again, I'm just gonna cut them all down and burn them. I don't know if it's because what's on the other side of the creek or not. I have put up food, so it's not a failure, but man, I've never dealt with so many pests. The drought, I'm sure, did not help. How's your garden doing? It's finally started to rain. We're in a D3 drought, so this is wonderful, but we're also going to have really high winds today. I don't know how much rain. It's from the hurricane. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these pumpkins. I was trying to wait until all of their stems dried, but I don't want to lose this if it floods. This back here is a floodplain, so I'll show you up close. I probably won't harvest the baby boo because they're just decorative anyway, but I don't want to lose this food. So let's take a look. I had already harvested a bunch of pumpkins. I think I showed you that in another video. These stems are not dried up, but as you can see, most of the plants are. There's some that obviously are still going. There's the baby boo. I'm just gonna go ahead and harvest them. I don't want to lose this food if it floods. I didn't bring my tripod, so I'm not gonna set you up to show me harvesting this. I will show you all of them in the wagon when I'm done. Also, here comes the rain. I'm probably gonna be wet, but I'm gonna save this food for my family. The tendril is dry on some of these baby boo pumpkins, so I'm gonna harvest just a couple to see. All right, I got 16 pumpkins. I went ahead and harvested 4 of the baby boos, 1 for each member of my family, and a watermelon. I raked some of this up to the middle. That'll be easier to clean once the rain has passed, though. I'll burn all of that. There is a lot of the cucumber beetles, and I even saw squash bugs, which I have actually never had to deal with before, so this mess is gonna stay here, and I'm gonna get myself into the house. I'm already wet. Let's go see if there's any pawpaws. There's some places, if you can see that nice big patch of green, that was from the pigs right past it. I think those are Jerusalem artichokes. I'm gonna dig them up after the frost. I see a small pawpaw on that tree. There's probably more, but the deer do love them. And with this high wind, I probably should not be in here. The wind is picking up. Can you hear it? There's a lot of dead trees back here. So, although I want to find pawpaws and I want to eat one, I also don't want a tree or a limb falling on my head today. So, let's save it for another day. I came out to check on animals, and my greenhouse might be destroyed. Let me show you. There's only 4 tied. It's ripped the tie out there. Looks, well, both of them on that side are torn off. These 2 are still intact. It got pulled up out of the ground. That stake is completely out. And the tarp there is ripped. What we've got going on right now is we have meat birds and pigs out in the back. I'm not worried about the pigs. The meat birds, we might have to try to bring them up to the brooder coop up here just because of all the water. They are in tractors. I'm pretty sure that this greenhouse is bent, so I'm not sure if it's salvageable or not. We'll have to see. That I'm more worried about the lives of my animals. I've got some trees down. I started to go out back to check on the animals, and the Lord stopped me and said, don't. And when I turned around to come back up to the house, a tree fell. So I want to go back there and check on them, but I'm not risking my life for it. Joe is at work and he's headed home now, but there's like power lines and trees and stuff down for everybody. So I don't know how long it'll take him to get home, or if he'll even be able to get home. There's a power line down across the street at my neighbor's, and crews cannot work on electric in these conditions. The winds are way too high, and I'm not wanting anybody to risk their life to give me electricity. So I'll keep recording and let you know. This is just this morning we were harvesting those pumpkins. I don't know how much longer this will go. Nothing has hit the house. We're safe inside. I have baby chicks, which I haven't shared with you guys yet. We haven't had them very long at all. For my daughter to show for 4-H, they're brand new, and for new layers. The power is out, so my brooder is off. I have a broody hen who I think is broody, so I've put her in with them, hoping that she will sit with them and not kill them. That's the only thing I can do right now. So we tried to bring them in the house, but that's not going to be warm enough. These are like within a week old chicks. So I hope you are all faring really well. You're not having any loss, that you're safe. And so I'm gonna check on a few more things out here and go back inside and just pray for safety. Even if we have no power, we'll be okay. Just for safety for everybody. Thanks, guys. We're getting ready to go out back. The high wind warning has been canceled. There is still some rain here. My battery's almost dead, so I don't know if I'll be able to get footage, but so far we're all okay. Joe is home. We put a 7-year-old buff who was broody in with those chicks, and she is caring for them, so she is definitely getting a pass from the soon coming retirement for some of the others. She was anyway, because she's a pet. Her name is Fuzzy, if you've seen her before. We're just so thankful. We know so many are without anything. We're still without power. I have no idea how long that will take, but hopefully right now our meat birds and the pigs are okay out back. We're heading back there right now. Well, the pig shelter got destroyed, but they're okay. We will move them tomorrow, but we're gonna put a new tarp on here. It's getting dark. It's darker than what this looks. The kids are over there putting shavings inside the tractor just to make sure the chickens have a dry place to be. So we fared pretty good. The animals are alive, we're alive, so it's all good. Hi guys, it's been a couple days. We finally got power back last night. Today is Tuesday. Hope to get this video out for you in the morning tomorrow on Wednesday. I just thought I'd show you around a little bit and give you some of my thoughts of what we learned during this. We had it so much easier than anyone else, so definitely not complaining in any way. Very thankful. So you can see my loofahs here survived. They got quite battered, but it allowed me to see how many are in there. I am going to have an epic loofah harvest very soon. So a lot of my garden is done anyway. We're a couple weeks away from frost and just struggled because of the heat and things like that. We were in a drought before this rain. Everything is greening up now because of it. Things that I thought were dead are springing back to life. You can see my zinnias here. I have a row here. They are quite battered. Sorry about that. But still salvageable. Could probably tie some of those up. I'll show you, I had a lot of pest pressure all of a sudden with this storm. I don't know, there were obviously some already, but I have rutabagas back here that the leaves are just absolutely destroyed by something. I had one cabbage out of the 18 we planted together that made it, and now that looks like, I don't know if it'll come back either. Let me show you that real quick and then we'll go over what this all means to my preparedness plan. You can see all my hot peppers here. They got a little battered, but they're okay. I need to come and harvest some more. I already harvested 2 pounds for hot sauce. This is the other side of that bed. My ginger had bloomed really pretty, but with this rain, it closed up again. Okay, I got 2 issues going on. Something is digging in here. That one, right there, I'm guessing is a squirrel. That one, I don't know. But look at these leaves. They're just like decimated. They probably could come back still. I mean, they're grown. I don't see bulbs forming yet. I don't know. Oh, looky here. Oh, looky here. That's not a radish, is it? Did I leave a radish too long? Well, I guess we'll see. Here's some carrots, the few that made it. They're coming back. Those had swallowtails on them, and they ate the leaves, but they're coming back. This bed is, wow, really struggling. If I'm not wrong, that's a larva of something. Oh, looky there. 2 different types of worms. Can you see them? Right there and back there. Ugh. This was looking so good. It was my lone surviving cabbage. Ugh. These 2 things right here are Thai basil, holy basil, and I planted them way past the time that would normally be done. And especially this one, they're doing so great. Definitely gonna get a harvest, and they smell good, so here's your sign. Just plant stuff. My chair is holding up these raspberries that, can you see them? Yum. The blackberries have grown. So you can grow these things in containers. I definitely need to come and harvest cucamelons. So everything is just covered with leaf debris and whatnot. Once it dries out, I'll use my leaf blower and clean this up. For the most part, my garden is intact, especially for this time of year, so I'm very thankful for that. We did take the fencing down around the garden out back. The only thing that is there is the tomatoes that I've just let go, and the baby boo pumpkins, which are decorative anyway. So we use that fence to just give the pigs a bigger area, which is nice. They'll be going to butcher the end of October. I wanted to show you this thing too. I had pulled some stuff out of a bed that I just thrown in there, and there was a planter where I had started this mallow plant this spring, and I literally just put that in there, let's say 2 weeks ago, and it was looking kind of rough, and look at it, it's doing great. I am first and foremost so thankful that we didn't have more damage than we did. You know, my county in Ohio had the highest winds, had the most damage, the most electric out, all of those things. But it was nothing compared to what people were and are still experiencing in other states, and I don't downplay that at all. I am not here complaining or saying, oh man, we had it bad, because this was just an inconvenience compared to what so many other people have experienced. So I'm so thankful that we had what we had, and that we made it through with very little damage. So I'm just here to, oh, all this road noise, sorry. I'm outside, obviously. I just want to let you know how we handled things. You know, obviously this was not like a catastrophic event for us, an inconvenience, like I said, but it does bring to light some of maybe the holes in your preparedness plan. I am not what you call a prepper, but I do like to be prepared, you know, for things like this. And it did show us some holes in that. And there were things that I 100% already knew that we weren't prepared for. You know, there's just things that can prevent that, you know, finances and time and all of that kind of stuff. So we were very, very blessed to be lent a generator from a sweet family at church that saved us. And, you know, Joe and I kept saying, thankfully this was not a few weeks from now when our freezers would even be more full. We have 2 very large pigs out back that are going to be in the freezer, in a month's time. Plus we're butchering chickens this weekend. That would have been even more of a devastating loss. I mean, to replace that same amount of meat, if we tried to buy it somewhere, I mean, thousands of dollars. This is pork for my family for 2 years. It's a lot. So we're thankful that hadn't happened yet. All of our animals survived. None of them were exceptionally stressed, or no one was injured or anything like that. The damage that happened was pretty much easily repairable, though not convenient or necessarily fun. Joe got quite covered with a lot of pig mud, which we all know is not just mud. But they're all fine. They've all been moved and checked on and those kinds of things. The trees that have fallen, none of them destroyed fences or destroyed structures or fell on animals or anything like that. All of us are safe. All the peoples, all the animals. My greenhouse, yesterday I came out here and took a good hard look at it. You're kind of right inside of it right now. And I think it's salvageable. How long it will last, I'm not sure. I mean, one of the flaws, I guess, of the design, which I'm sure this type all have it, is that there's just little ties to keep it on. And there's like 4 on each end. So only 8 ties. There's nothing in the middle for some of the other bars, which I think would definitely be better to have that. We also should have put more anchors in. We had some trouble because of, being the gravel ground and stuff like that. But we are going to add additional anchors. Right now it's being held down with some cinder blocks too, but it doesn't seem to be broken. There might be one little bend a little bit in one of the pipes, but it still works. And I can't buy just the cover to replace this. I'll have to, if I wanted to do that, I'd have to get a whole nother greenhouse. So I am going to get some of the weatherproof UV like duct tape and fix the one corner where it's ripped, any other holes that I might find. And then we are pricing out lumber to build a frame around the bottom, which will also anchor that to the ground, and then also anchor the greenhouse fabric to that, because this greenhouse, since it has windows, the sides don't roll up, so we don't have to worry about that. So there'll be a frame and we will anchor all of the tarp to that, so that will help. But that will also help keep the weather out in the colder months that are coming. So some of the things that I was thinking of doing in here, maybe not happening right away. Just, this kind of thing can set you back, and that happens to us all the time. If you've been homesteading or farming, your timelines don't always work out. Somebody gets sick, somebody gets injured, something happens, all kinds of things can put a wrench in that, but we're just thankful for what we're able to do, and we just remain in peace and know that God will direct our steps and provide in every area. So I do have that planter box that I shared in a community tab. Joe and I built one. We'd like to build some more. We made it out of a pallet. I'll show it here to you just in case you haven't seen that. And I haven't planted it yet because I wanted to make sure the soil was okay. It is from a horse farm, and sometimes they have sprayed hay or wormers and all that. Though it's supposed to be like 2 to 3 years old, I put some bush beans in there, and I'm waiting for them to germinate to see what happens. I did fill one of my big beds just like this, one of the new ones out in the front. But next year I am intending only to put flowers in there, so I'm hoping that this soil is fine. But I won't be putting food in there next year anyway, so I think flowers would survive even if there was some contaminants, but let's hope that that's not the case. You never know with things that ruminants eat, and they survive through their system. But anyway, that's a whole nother soapbox. But so I think that the greenhouse is salvageable. Everything else is fine. We have some things that need repaired on the house, but those are just things that we're waiting to take care of. But as far as my preparedness plan, we definitely needed a generator, which we already knew that. So that is in the works right now, thankfully. So we will have that. We did not lose water because we don't have city water, but it's kind of like city water. It's like a co-op kind of thing. So we did not lose water since it is not, you don't need electricity for it. Though I have been preparing for water. If you've seen some of my videos, I have canned water. Also, I use quite a bit of vinegar around my house, whether it's in cleaning or laundry. So every time now that I empty a vinegar container, I rinse it out, I fill it with water, and Joe stores it in the basement. So we could have that for animals if needed. We could use it to flush toilets and all that kind of stuff. And actually we could drink it ourselves because it's from the tap. But so I'm storing water that way as well. The food situation was no problem. Some of the things that I thought, no, you know what, I don't know if I'll can that again. I'm going to, because sometimes I was just cracking open a couple jars, heating them up, and that was dinner, and that was fabulous. I do have a propane grill, and also I have a Camp Chef 2-burner camp stove, and I use that camp stove so much. I mean, I made pancakes on it, I made soup on it, heated coffee or heated water for coffee, boiled water to make for bucket baths and things like that, so we wouldn't have to take cold showers. Though Joe took a cold one, didn't enjoy it. My oldest daughter took one and said she will never do that again. So we had some good laughs through all of this. So, you know, I was really thankful for the large kettle for the water. That stove made all the difference. If I wouldn't have had that, we would have really struggled. Even with the generator, I did use an Instant Pot one for one meal. But if we wouldn't have had that, you know, we would have struggled to been able to cook, you know, everything just like on a gas grill or something. I want to make sure all my propane is full, at least have an extra tank somewhere for that. And, you know, what was the other thing? I forget. See, now I'm going to... I would just like to make sure I have more meals that are easy like that, just dumping it in a jar. I do want to make sure that I take a good look at my pantry and have more of those kind of heat and serve things. I don't do Rebel canning, but there's plenty of things out there that you're able to heat and serve. Like we canned together something called Chicken Verde. It's a meal in a jar from one of the Ball books. And I was able to take that and mix it with some of my salsa verde and some bone broth and make a great soup that was very similar to the green chili that I make. So that was nice to be able to just put them in a pot, heat them up, and go. We do want to get like a pop-up canopy, another one, or build a roof over part of our deck or patio, because we don't have anywhere to cook outside that is out of the weather. And so we were having to bring that propane stove back into the house when we weren't using it and cook in the rain, you know, and it was just kind of, I guess, more of an inconvenience of anything, but that would be nice to have. So all of that was bothering me more than I thought it would. If you know me in real life, or you've been around here and put 2 and 2 together, I was a missionary for a number of years, and I have lived in third world countries. I have gone weeks and weeks at a time without running water or electricity. And so I didn't think it would bother me that much, but it did. But I guess because I have a husband and children and animals to worry about now, it made it different. But so we're so thankful the power's back on, and we just breathe a sigh of relief. So there wasn't a lot of holes in our preparedness plan, but I know what the other thing was I wanted to say is we do have like battery powered lights and stuff like that, but we need more of them. But also I don't want to rely just on battery. I'm real sensitive to smells and things like that. And none of us like the smell of lamp oil, but I have a friend who tried out some smokeless, unscented paraffin oil, and she liked it. So I ordered some of that this weekend so that we'll have that on hand. So I have something for lanterns or oil lamps that isn't going to just smell really bad and give us headaches and things like that. So that was another thing I wanted to adjust, is the amount of lights that we have on hand, whether battery powered or oil, just so we won't run out and that we're not like all scrambling for one. We usually have a pretty good stock of batteries for those things, but I think that can always be restocked. So other than that, we did well. I mean, we do have a lot of things in the pantry. We typically have at least a month's worth of animal feed on the premises at all times. So those kinds of things, there wasn't any worry. We really did not suffer. So, I was disappointed about some things. I was obviously, I'm sure it'll show in the video that I took, I was worried about my greenhouse, but I think it is salvageable. So we're really, really grateful for that. I hope in some way that you're enjoying this video. I was kind of going back and forth of whether I should post it or not, because I certainly don't want to come off as that I'm complaining at all about this really just inconvenience to us. We did not suffer loss like so many people are. And if you are in one of those places, you're still without power, you've had loss of any kind, I'm so very sorry, and my prayers are with you. I am hoping that you have relief very, very soon. I'll come back with some more typical videos in the kitchen very soon. We have so much pumpkin to can together, but obviously nothing's been happening in that way right now because of all of this. So this weekend is our chicken butchering class. There's still a couple spots available. So if you want to, you're in the Southwest Ohio area for this coming Saturday, October 5th, come and join us. It's $40, or for a couple, it's $60, and I'm cooking everybody lunch. Until next time, guys, God bless.